Hello there, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao. Let's start off with the Black Queens, and Evelyn Bedu scored twice as the Black Queens secured an emphatic 4-0 victory over Guinea in the second leg of the first round of qualifiers for the 2024 Olympic Games at the Accra Sports Stadium. Now, it was the ladies who scored. Priscilla Adubia was also on target alongside Farouk Yakuba, who also scored to ensure the Black Queens secured the 4-0 victory. My colleague Lawrence Bedu was at the Accra Sports Stadium and came through with this report.
And just like that, the winning streak for the Black Queens continue as they crashed Guinea at the Accra Sports Stadium by 4-0. And Evelyn Bedu brace and goals from Fidelis Yakubu and Priscilla Edubia were enough for Nora Hoptel's side, who cruised into the next round of qualifiers. Evelyn Bedu opened the scoring in the 36th minute of the game, lofting the ball over the on-rushing Guinea goalkeeper to put Ghana ahead. After a few chances missed in the first half, there was no stopping Priscilla Edubia this time, as she scored 7 minutes into the second period of the game. Bedu grabbed her second goal of the evening with a calm effort from a rebound minutes later, before substitute Fidelis Yakubu put the game to bed. The Razak ladies midfielder tapped into an empty net after a brilliant work by Bedu down the right flank. Speaking at the end of the game, the head coach of the side, Nora Hoptel, said she was satisfied with the performance of her team, but believes they could have scored more at the Accra Sports Stadium.
All in all, I think it was a good game. We played tonight. We leveled up in terms to the first game we had away in Guinea. I think we liked that the pitch is rolling much better here, so our possession game was good. Our rest defense was perfectly set, so we didn't allow them to enter in counter-attacks. I think we had a big dominance on the pitch. Of course, the only thing I can maybe judge is that we should have scored a bit more goals out of all these chances. But all in all, I'm very satisfied, happy that we passed this first qualification round.
Prior to the game, Kamara Sekuba, who is the head coach of Guinea, had promised that his side were going to play for pride and honor. However, the scoreline from the Accra Sports Stadium was a sign of disappointment rather than hope. In his post-match, he mentions that the Ghanaian team were far too good for his side to cope.
Ghana is a strong country. Ghana is very experienced, and we were waiting to have a very strong side. We our side, we had a very young team, and we had about a week or two to get ready for this tournament. And this is the result that we are seeing today. We are trying our best to make sure we have a strong team for the future, so that in the future we can also go ahead in this type of competitions.
Progressing to the next round of qualifiers means Benin is the next task for Ghana. But before Benin, the Black Queens will face Rwanda as part of their qualifications for the next edition of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Reporting for Joy Sports, Lawrence Bedu from the Accra Sports Stadium.
And he joins me in the studio to help us appreciate more what happened at the Accra Sports Stadium. Lawrence, great reports by All Standard there at the Accra Sports Stadium. Of course, the ladies put up very good performance. Like we indicated, 7-0 on aggregate after defeating Guinea in the first leg by 3-0. And we understand they're going to be playing Benin in the next round of the qualifiers. When should we expect this game to come off?
So before we even play Benin, as I've already mentioned, there's a game against Rwanda for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, and that will be in September. So after the September window, they will have an opportunity to come for the international break, and then that is where they prepare for Benin in the Olympic Games qualification.
But in terms of the quality of play that you witnessed at the Accra Sports Stadium, how will you describe it? Of course, we talk about the record of Nora Hoptel at the moment. She's yet to concede a goal in five games now. Clearly impressive, and you monitor the conversation on social media. People are clearly commending her for it. Have the Black Queens really returned to the level that we used to know them for?
You know, when she took over, it was even after she took over that the Ghana Football Association launched the Women's Football Strategy. can you imagine that in almost all her presses, Nora has been mentioning that the DNA of Ghana is to possess, dominate, create chances, and score goals. It tells you that she knew exactly the kind of team she was taking over from Mercy Tego. She has prepared this team in the last 2 years. She's got them playing some good football. And then I think she, in her presser before the game, she mentioned that there are no weaknesses in this team. And even if they are very little as compared to their strength. She's found a way to blend the local talent on the scene as against the foreign-based players, because they come in at a time where the team needs them. They come in at a time where the local league is on break, and then they are also on break. But then they've been camping for quite some time, and then they've gotten to understand each other. From the team that started today, I think just about 2 or 3 players are playing in the local league. So it tells you that the idea is to focus more on the foreign-based players, but we won't take out the local players, which is something that we can commend. At the Accra Sports Stadium, you know, I've not seen such numbers for women's game. But today, it looked like after the Black Mets was disappointed, as we were all putting our hopes in the Black Queens, and they didn't disappoint. It is one thing I've liked, and then I think the Ghanaians will grow more to learn the importance of this, importance of giving attention to the Black Queens as well.
So after Benin, what next? How do we eventually qualify for the Olympics?
After Benin, there's one more hurdle, obviously. So that is where we get to play one of the top sides on the continent, because there's Nigeria, there's Zambia, there's Morocco. We could face one of these sides if we are able to go past Benin. Just to remind you that we played Benin in the friendly game 5 months ago, where we won 3-0. One of the questions I asked Nora after the game was the fact that when we played Benin, they couldn't score. But then in 2 games against Guinea-Bissau, they've scored 5 goals, and then they've shipped in 4 goals. It tells you that their defense is quite a problem. However, their attacking is beginning to build momentum. How are we going to cope with this? And she says that, look, she knows teams develop, but then the focus for her is to get her team playing to the style. Once they know how to fit in, once they know how to develop themselves, they should be able to blow aside any competition that comes their way. So the kind of confidence she commands, the kind of attitude the players command on the pitch, my word.
It gives hope that we...
Exactly.
So they have 2 more, let me say, 2 rounds left as far as qualification for the Olympics is concerned. The game against Benin, then we have a final match, then we'll qualify for the Olympics. So to be the first time since 2007,
well,
they qualified, right?
It's quite interesting, but the Black Queens have never been to the Olympic Games.
Wow, interesting. Well, so that's Lawrence Bedu there with our Joy Sports Decks, and of course, as far as the women's game is concerned, he's an expert here on the Joy Sports Decks, and of course we'll keep tabs on the Black Queens and see if they will be able to qualify for the Olympic Games for the first time ever. Interesting there. Well, let's talk about the senior national team and the Black Stars, and they are expected to take on Mexico in an international friendly during the October break. The Ghana Football Association made this announcement earlier today, and in a statement from the association, it said that they have signed a contract with the Federation of Mexico Football and Soccer United Marketing for an international friendly against 2023 CONCACAF Gold Cup champions Mexico in the United States as part of the 20th anniversary of the Mex Tour. Now, the game will be played on Saturday, October 14, 2023, at a venue yet to be announced. The friendly is to help the Black Stars prepare for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers set to start in November, and the 2023 African Cup of Nations in January next year, which Ghana is yet to qualify for. Now, Ghana will later play the United States of America national team at the Geodis Park in Nashville on October 17 before wrapping their tour of the United States there. Now, to some grassroots football and the thrilling conclusion of the between Accra West District Division 3 Middle League final took place last Saturday as Adabraka Elders delivered an impressive 4-0 victory over Abor Arsenal at the Dansoman Rindolph Park. Now, Adabraka Elders wasted no time in asserting their dominance, securing 2 goals in the first half, and Abor Arsenal obviously struggled to contain the relentless attack and threat posed by Elders, resulting in a double lead for their opponents. Head coach of the side, Rashid Nai, also spoke after the game, and he lauded his boys, promising that in the Division 2, they'll give their very best to qualify for the next stage of the Ghana football.
as if I'm in the moon. Seriously. Yeah, I'm happy for them because this is our third time. We've been coming since the inception of the Elders Club. In our first season, we lost at Fadama. In our second season, it was here, we lost to, I can't remember the name, but we lost we lost 1-0. But today, I told the boys, if Man City have done it for the third time, that means we too can do it for the third time.
And what will be your target going into Division 2?
We are going there to maintain our stance in the Division 2. We are not just going there to come back like others have been doing. What I have to do is I have to beef up the team. Let's say register about 5-6 players into the team so that we will maintain our position in the team.
A former Ghana Football Association Vice President, Fred Papo, who was the guest of honor and presented the trophy to the victorious Adabraka Elders, commended both teams for their performance and was full of praise also for the quality of football that was played there. Also, chairman of the Accra West District Football Association, Farouk Zakari, lauded his team for a successful end to the season, while also calling on corporate bodies to support the association.
I think it was an interesting game. We saw very young and raw talents displaying their skills and then showing their commitment. I think one would have to congratulate Adabraka Elders for winning, and then also better luck to Abor Arsenal. They also put up a good fight. But overall, I'll say the District Football Association have done very well. It's been a very wonderful competition right from the word go, and the fans and the media were all wonderful. I must say I was really impressed. I was telling those, I was sitting down with that right from the first minute, the kind of talent and skill the boys were exhibiting was extremely excellent, and what we really need to do is a challenge to those of us in sports administration and management to nurture these talents and make sure they pass through the mill to the level that we all want them. But I must say it's been a very excellent competition.
You're welcome.
Give me your full name and your position.
I'm Farouk Zakari. I'm the chairman of Accra West District Football Association.
As the chairman of the Accra West District Football Association, how happy are you to see everything being done, everything come to a close today?
It is by grace. It is by grace. And I thank my ESCO members so much. If without them we could not do this. And then the biggest one is our sponsor. Without them we couldn't. They sponsor us. None of the team pay 1 pesewa. None of the team pay 1 pesewa. Without them, we could not do this. Do you get it? And look at the euphoria. Look at how people are. Look at joy. That this is what we want. We want companies. You see, they should come and partner with the districts. And with this, we will reach higher height.
Games. Well, let's get to Manchester now, where former Manchester United footballer and ex-Wales manager Ryan Giggs has been cleared over allegations he assaulted his ex-girlfriend and her sister. It comes after charges were withdrawn by the Crown Prosecution Service at a hearing at Manchester Crown Court. Now, Mr. Giggs, who is 48, has always denied assault and controlling or coercive behavior towards Kate Greville and assaulting her sister, Emma. Now, Judge Hilary Manley directed that he was not guilty on all 3 counts. The retrial had been due to start at Manchester Crown Court on July 31st, but jurors failed to reach verdict following more than 20 hours of deliberation after his 4-week trial in August last year. Mr. Giggs was not in court on Tuesday, as the judge had agreed he did not need to attend. Now, prosecutor Peter Wright KC told Manchester Crown Court that the CPS were not now proceeding with the case. He said Kate Greville had indicated an unwillingness to give evidence in a retrial, as given evidence in the first one had taken its toll on her and her sister. And now it's time for the latest from Germany's Domestic Football League, and we are joined by Chris Harrington of our partner station DWTV. Now, Chris, thanks for making time, but let's talk about Bayern Munich. Thomas Tuchel, he has recently discussed Sadio Mane I mean, tell us, what has he been saying about the future of the Senegalese star?
Well, you know, Thomas Tuchel obviously had an opportunity to address the Sadio Mane situation, and he told us what we already know. Mane fell short of expectations. When you factor in, he was brought to Munich for 35 million, and they're trying to sell him for 17. Do the math, that's half the value. I mean, he didn't really prove as effective as we would have thought. He was supposed to break the Bundesliga. Coming from the Premier League, you know, from Liverpool, obviously a decorated striker, put up a lot of goals. I expected him to put up similar numbers in the Bundesliga. It didn't happen that way, you know, ruffle with teams and so forth. Mane and his camp seem to be dedicated to showing up, you know, at the summer training with Bayern Munich. That's scheduled this week to kick off. But right now, Thomas Tuchel wants to make it clear that he and the club and all the brass at Bayern Munich are trying to free up some cap space to get Harry Kane. I mean, I think it's very clear they want Harry Kane. They're going to do everything they can to get Harry Kane. And Sadio Mane being the name he is, they believe that he is valuable. He could bring a return of that amount of money at least, or maybe even more. Bayern, that's one thing, you know, the Harry Kane situation, Mane falling short. The latest Mane situation, I mentioned this before, Al Nassr was a club that expressed interest in Sadio Mane because they are obviously pulling a big move. They have Ronaldo and other stars. A lot of stars are going to Saudi Arabia to play football. And Sadio Mane could be the latest star to do so because reports are, according to reports in Saudi Arabia, Al Nassr are expected to submit an official offer to Sadio Mane and Bayern within 24 hours. And if you look at history, the amounts of money they've put up, I'm sure they will be above and beyond this 17 million that Bayern are reportedly asking for, you know, but I think it's unfortunate, you know, but this whole Premier League situation, you know, out one Premier League player potentially entering another in Harry Kane. Maybe Harry Kane lives up to the expectations of putting incredible numbers, you know, out there in terms of goal production. But unfortunate to see Sadio Mane, you know, on the selling list. But he is the top of the list among a handful of players Bayern are looking to unload.
Well, Chris, let's talk about transfers. And we understand RB Leipzig, they've been looking to replace Christopher Nkunku. And for that, they've brought in Belgian striker Lois Openda. The question, obviously, is will he provide enough power to keep them competitive come next season?
Yeah, you know, I think RB Leipzig have done well in finding diamonds in the rough. They got Nkunku over from PSG. You know, he didn't really put up the numbers at PSG, but he exploded at RB Leipzig. He got recalled for the French national team. Now he's, you know, off to a better pitch, a more competitive league. Now, when you look at the replacement, I like Luis Openda. You know, when you look at his background, Congolese descent and Moroccan descent, and you look at his numbers, he played at Lens Ligue 1. They finished second in their division. He put up 21 goals. I think that's incredible. You know, that obviously is a bit more wind behind the sail. He comes in to the Leipzig situation with the numbers to show and prove, suggest that he could put up similar numbers in the Bundesliga. You know, RB Leipzig have lost one player. They lost Konrad Lima to Bayern Munich. Bayern, typical of poaching talent. And RB Leipzig, along with Dortmund, seem to be one of these clubs that get these young and upcoming talents, and these talents tend to help Leipzig remain competitive. They still have Timo Werner. He was brought back from the Premier League. You know, I like the move. I like Openda. And then they're led in the proper direction. Now, Marco Rose has done wonders at RB Leipzig. It's a really good fit for him. And I think the players, specifically Openda, reports are that he is similar. You know, he can play on both sides of the wing. And his numbers speak for themselves. I mean, who are we kidding? I expect him to break the double-digit numbers in terms of goal production in the Bundesliga next season, similar to what Nkunku did last season. Maybe not quite Nkunku's numbers, but definitely something similar. And I like the move, and I think it will definitely give RB Leipzig a boost.
So that's Chris Harrington of our partner station DWTV, joining us all the way from Berlin, Germany. And that's how we draw the curtains on tonight's edition of Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao. There's more stories on myjoyonline.com/sports. Do have a lovely evening. Up next is PM Express.